Hmm. I thought I'd get on here live because time is a little short these days, and I just got off of a call or just watching the recording of the information call about the Venus sequence, Gene Key's Venus sequence virtual retreat that's happening November 2nd. So I just wanted to express my enthusiasm for another virtual retreat that the Gene Keys organization is doing. If you saw my videos on the activation sequence virtual retreat, you kind of have an idea of what this is about. Um, the Venus sequence is actually part two of the Golden Path. And I wanted to just get on because I had some questions. I announced it on YouTube on my community tab last night, and someone asked me if I was going if I was going to participate. And in full disclosure, this time I'm not going to participate. It's a conscious decision not to do that because it is a very, very deep, involved process. And I went through the Venus sequence, contemplated the Venus sequence portion of the Golden Path last year on my own. So I want to talk about that, my experience with that, to give you kind of an idea of what this is about. And I also want to share some things, some questions that came up during the information call that I just saw, so that you can kind of understand or get an idea of whether or not this is something for you. So yes, I just started the Pearl sequence, which is part three of the Gene Keys Golden Path. And I've discovered through my uh, participation in the activation sequence virtual retreat, which was 3 months long, that sometimes I need to take things at a little bit of a slower pace. And I know that I've just started the first key on the Pearl sequence, and I've been contemplating that for 2 or 3 weeks. Now, along with that, I think I'm going to do another video about how to prepare for the virtual retreats because they are so powerful. Um, and if you want to know about this particular virtual retreat with the Gene Keys, I did put a link in the description. It's actually my personal link because I really believe in what is going on over at the Gene Keys Hub, and I am promoting them as an affiliate. So go ahead and check that out if you want to know more about it. I know a lot of you are dipping your toe into the Gene Keys, even though you are perhaps studying your own human design chart. And you may want to know at this point, well, what is the Venus sequence about? And uh, how what are you going to get from it? And all of this in terms of contemplating all of the keys or contemplating one of the keys is designed to unlock your own wisdom from within. And particularly with the Gene Keys Venus sequence, it's going to you're going to contemplate that central part of your hologenetic profile. And if you don't have your hologenetic profile and you're interested in it, on the Gene Keys website, you can get your free profile. But this part of the sequence comes after the activation sequence, which is basically the the keys at the top. If you're a human design person, they're at the top of your human design chart. They're the gates of your incarnation cross. And in the Gene Keys contemplation, they are known as the activation sequence. And you work through them in a certain order to begin to unlock and ground your purpose into your physical experience. Once that happens, if you're taking the Golden Path in order, you get to the Venus sequence. And the Venus sequence is about opening your heart. It's about using your relationships for your personal spiritual growth. And that's what really resonates with me. You know, before the Gene Keys, before human design, I understood that my relationships were my deepest teachers, my most powerful teachers on the spiritual, in my spiritual path, in my spiritual experience. And I recognize that anything that I'm experiencing in my relationships out here really is a reflection of what's going on inside. So when I got to the Venus sequence, when I got to that part of the golden path, I was like lit up and on fire. It's like, oh boy, I get to go into these shadow patterns that I'm seeing in my relationships. And here's where I really get to go in deep. And in the golden path, in the Venus sequence part of the golden path, you actually kind of go backwards through your developmental cycles to unlock the wisdom within the keys of what's in your hologenetic profile from in the developmental cycle from age 14 to 21, and then you move back into the next one is from 7 to 14, and then the next one is from birth to 7, and then back into your core wound that you came in with, that you brought into the world as you were birthed, but that you took on when you were conceived. And this really this interface between what has happened inside and and what you're seeing outside in your relationships as a result, and then how you can transmute that by walking this path, by contemplating this path, by contemplating and going into these different developmental cycles and understanding how you were imprinted at those times with certain themes that could have facilitated the closing down of your heart, and then unlocking those is unbelievably powerful. So that's why I'm really excited that the Gene Keys, that Richard Rudd and all of his associates, his supporters and helpers are doing a virtual retreat on this. Now, for me, since I'm starting the Pearl sequence, I'm choosing not to do this part with the group, but I can tell you from having done the activation sequence with the group, it can be a bit overwhelming. And that's why I think I'm going to do another video on how to prepare for this virtual retreat, because this one is actually twice as long as the one with the activation sequence. And one thing that I will say is, you know, you don't have to do everything. Just one key, just contemplating one key and making a breakthrough there will open up so much. And just imagine working with, being focused with thousands and thousands of people, thousands and thousands of energies of human consciousness, beings of human consciousness, all focused upon this one theme of moving through your human history, the developmental cycles of what has created you as a human being, what has contributed to your heart's wisdom or not up to this point, and having that the word that comes up is multidimensional group support of the singular focus of that for 6 months. Not only is that transformative can be transformative for you, but just imagine your contribution being transformative for the heart of the entire planet, for the heart of humanity. I wrote in a newsletter that I recently sent out about the heart of humanity and how we all at our core want the same things. You know, we all want to be loved. We all want to love and express our love and to express our unique being and our creativity and all of that stuff. We all want our families to thrive. We all want our communities to thrive. Um, and this is the heartbeat of humanity. So it's so timely that Richard is launching this part of the hologenetic uh, uh, golden path at this time, the part that opens your heart. And I know from the activation sequence and being in that energy, um, as much as I could and still honor my own energy levels, being in that energy really unlocked some things for me and slid some things into place for me, where now I'm seeing how much more grounded I am in the expression of my own purpose. You know, I wouldn't actually be feeling called to promote other people's stuff, because my conditioning from the past says you have to create your own stuff and you know you have to be original and stuff. But as I grounded my purpose with the activation sequence, what I really began to understand is that it's not just about me and what I offer, but it's about really being able to uh, support and promote other people and other things that would benefit you and benefit the world. And I can just, I'm so grounded in that frequency that it just amazes me that I didn't see it before. But anyway, I digress. This whole group thing is just, I'm just amazed at the timing of it. And if you're called to be in it, I've left the link uh, for you to check it out. What I did hear on the information call is that you do not have to have done the activation sequence prior to doing the virtual retreat for the Venus sequence, but Richard was recommending that if you haven't done it, you've got a few weeks to get your feet on the ground if you want to get started with the activation sequence, with the contemplation process, to get ready for this. But they're not making that a requirement, if I understood them correctly. Uh, so, you know, I just wanted to open the door on this. I just wanted to let you know that it's coming up November 6th. I think the whole schedule is on there for all of the calls. They really break down they break it down so that you're in little villages and you can have these smaller calls where there are breakout groups and you can share what's going on with you. You can share what's coming up for you. And I'd love to know what your questions are about this. A lot of them are answered on the website, but you know, if you want, I'd love to know, because I'd love to introduce more of the gene keys to you as well, and help you get clear about this massive body of work that Richard has brought through him, and how it can actually help to support your journey of unlocking the mysteries of you to you, unlocking the mysteries of yourself and revealing yourself to you. And Tammy, thank you for your comment. Yeah, you literally just started this journey again last night. How fitting. Yeah. Yeah, I go in and out of the gene keys myself. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I just started the Pearl sequence, which is part 3 of the Golden Path. And I I'm contemplating the first one, the core, the core wound, or the vocation, I believe it is in the Pearl sequence. And I've been contemplating it for about 3 weeks. And I tried to skip ahead like to the next key, but I couldn't take it in. And that's really what this is about. It's not like you've got to take every take one step and then the other and then the other and then the other and plod along. It's really about putting you in touch with your own body's wisdom about what it is that you need to understand about yourself in the next moment or in this present moment. So, yeah, let me see what else I can tell you, or if there's anything else I can tell you. Um, yeah, I'm just a big believer, or a big, the way that I've always done my spiritual path, or at least in the last 10 years. One of the primary things that I have really focused upon is looking at what's going on out in the world, especially with my close relationships, and using that as a touchstone to cue me in as to what's going on inside. And if that is something that you have been really working with, the Venus sequence is a wonderful, in-depth way of doing that, and really unlocking and transforming your heart up, opening it up, transmuting your shadows in your heart in a very, very palpable, very deeply fulfilling way. And to have the opportunity to do this with a whole group consciousness is immeasurably transformative for the heart of humanity. So I hope you check it out, and I know that a lot of you, like Tammy here, are in this journey as well. And I'm so glad and so delighted that I've got a lot of you on who really are dipping your toe into it. I did a video a while back about uh, the gene keys in human design. I believe I did one like that. If I didn't, I will do one. Because a lot of you found me through human design, and then also, the gene keys is sort of, Richard Rudd was part of the human design community at one time, and then had his own revelations that are really based on the I Ching aspect of what we understand in the chart as the gates. So they're not the same, but I've found through my own journey that understanding my gates through the way that the gene keys talks about them as keys, and the way that they talk about the gene keys talks about the shadow frequency, the gift frequency, the city frequency, really helps me to elevate my own experience with my design and with my chart. I do highly recommend that if you're new to both, that you pick one and just go with that one, and allow the other one to sort of inform you as inspired, um, but not to try to do a deep dive into both. But if you're really called toward this relationship part, toward opening your heart, toward opening the heart of humanity, it is worth considering this Venus sequence virtual retreat that's getting ready to happen. So I'm going to leave it at that. I invite you to just leave your questions below, and I am probably going to do another video on how to prepare for this virtual retreat, because it is going to be quite extensive. So I just want to kind of set the stage for those of you who are interested, so that you don't get overwhelmed, and you're able to get the most out of it for yourself. So if you know anyone who may be interested in the Venus sequence, please, please, please share this video. And thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, everyone.